morning, La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jess Moyer. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku.
That's right. It's Transformation Tuesday, not Throwback Thursday yet, but we're going to talk about how to transform your life. What are some things you can do? Because knowing the truth that all transformation begins in mind, the actual moment that you even consider yourself to be or not to be, sets the entire universe in motion. So we're going to talk about how to transform the body, mind, spirit.
Love it.
Nothing transforms my day like a good throwback song.
I know,
right?
Paula Abdul.
What? That was like 20-something years ago.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Cold-hearted snake, you should have seen the Halloween costume I wore when I was 5 years old. I thought I was Paula Abdul.
Do you remember the video?
Oh, do I ever?
Did you do the
I
panel?
relived that video for my neighborhood friends.
Yeah.
Multiple occasions.
You had the choreography down?
I held concerts. Took myself very seriously.
That dates me. I was thinking I was in high school. I remember driving around to that song. Yeah, so, yeah, 5 in high school. You know, got a little age.
Paul Dill crushed it. That straight up now tell me. Remember that song?
Oh man, master of transformation right there. Speaking of which, we have 2 masters of transformation in house today. I'm so excited to welcome to the show Miss Marla Martinson. Good morning, Marla.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, I'm so happy you're here. You know, she is the mystical matchmaker. We have some questions for you. My mother's dialing in right now. And Perry White, unapologetically sexy. Look at this man.
Killing it.
Happy to be here.
Oh, we're so happy you're here. Here at Good Morning La La Land, we like to know how you start your day, what your morning routine is, anything you can really do in the morning to transform your day. So what's your secret, Marla? How do you start your day?
Mine's pretty simple. I'll get up. My husband sleeps later than I do because he works nights, so that's my quiet time, and I'll get up, spend a little time with my dog Macy, do a little meditation. Since it's been hot here in LA, maybe take a dip in the pool, and then I get to work. I open up my laptop and start making some love connections.
Oh. That's a pretty great start.
Yeah, it's not bad. Oh, and don't forget coffee, organic coffee.
Yep.
It always helps.
That's what I need. So I guess it's my turn.
Yeah,
Well,
What do you do, Perry?
I start the day with a little bit of hypnosis tapes. It really helps me to get going in the way of like success, motivation, just whatever thing I'm dealing with at the time. I just kind of cue up a hypnosis tape, and then I'm raring to go. I walk the dog, I come back, have a cup of coffee, and then I jump on the pattern table or start calling clients or emailing. So that's pretty much how I get it going.
Hypnosis. That's the first time we've heard that.
That is. Are you still in a hypnotic state right now?
I am. Yeah, I did like a little self-hypnosis just sitting here on the couch just to make sure I'm calm and cool and ready for your rapid-fire questions.
Maybe he'll hypnotize me later in the show.
Oh, that would be fun.
Oh, you never know. Well, thank you all so much for being here. We're excited to talk to you more in a bit.
Right. So what's going on? I want to hear about this.
Well, you know, I'm doing curating a few of my favorite finds that I want to share with you, especially on Transformation Tuesday, because as you know, I'm a huge lover of fashion and beauty. I'm a hashtag beauty junkie, and I found this new liquid matte lipstick, you guys. And I want to talk about this because it's vegan, it's cruelty-free, it's paraben-free, but really it's the heart behind the project that speaks to me so dearly. So Zach, the CEO of the company, is a gay teen, and he is dedicated to give 50% of these proceeds to the Trevor Project.
Wow.
Which is huge. It's one of the most well-known, recognized organizations supporting the LGBTQ community.
And
he's a teenager. Glamour recognized it as one of the top 10 lip stains in the country. He's killing it. He's really transforming lives with this product. I'm really proud of him.
It's important, and we've been talking about the show and how we're, you know, niching it down more. And we love fashion, we love beauty, but we really do want to support people that are, you know, not having toxicity, organic, vegan, whatever it is that is something giving back to the community, involved with a nonprofit, whatever it may be, beyond, because there's so many products that it's kind of like, just want to support the ones that are doing good.
Absolutely. You know, it's a noisy market in beauty, but when you do find good, conscious products, it's marked right on the package. Cruelty-free, vegan, paraben-free, not tested on animals. So I do just call out to you, if you were watching the show, do your best to choose a conscious product.
For sure.
We know you can't make that choice in everything, but when you can, I think it's really important.
Sure.
So today I'm wearing this Jocelyn color right here, the Formula Z.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Zach. Almost, Jocelyn and Jocelyn.
Maybe they're real name for you.
So just so everybody knows, everywhere we go, everything, like whether it's events or restaurants, whatever, people love Jeslin's name so much that they want to name dishes after Jeslyn. They want to name jewelry after Jeslyn.
Dresses.
Yes. You've had a ring?
Oh,
right?
yes. I've had a ring, shoes. I have a lot of namesakes around town, which is really flattering.
Cool, yeah.
Thanks, Mom, for the great name.
It's a great name.
It is a great name.
And no one got just their name on Instagram, so she's
I know.
one of...
Just her and Madonna and
Right?
Beyonce.
Madonna, Beyonce, Cher, Jeslyn.
Right, exactly. It's good company to be in.
Exactly. What can you say?
For sure. So what else is going on? Rob, come on. We need a story out of this man.
Oh, no, man. Interesting, actually. I heard an interesting story. It's probably better for Wealth Wednesday. There was a story about Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. And apparently, I guess Bill Gates at some point in time wanted Warren Buffett as a mentor to him, but he was like, how am I going to reach Warren Buffett? I don't know how to do it. So he's telling his mom this story. So somehow, some ways, the way all moms do, she found a way to invite Warren Buffett to dinner. So Bill Gates shows up, and Warren Buffett's sitting there, and he's like, what the heck? How did you get Warren Buffett here? And so anyway, they start having this conversation. Eventually, there's a lull in the conversation, and Bill Gates' mom says, really, we're all here because we want to ask you one question. What's been the secret to your success? And he stops for a second and then he just explodes and says, focus! It's focus! Yeah. So I thought that was so interesting because we're here at Focus Network and everything we do is really about focus. And without focus, you can't do anything.
Very true.
Right? One of my favorite expressions in A Course in Miracles is, you accomplish so little because of an undisciplined mind. So focus, I think, at the end of the day, not only do we love focus because of Andy and the focus here, but also focus is important too.
Right? I mean, we're focusing energy upon mind. So if we're all scattered all over, we're going to have a bunch of manifestations. But if we direct and focus specific things we want to demonstrate, manifest, we have a lot better.
I will say this though, because for me, in my experience, the older I get, the harder it is for me to focus because there's so many things going on. What can we do to really focus our minds?
Yeah, I think it's being crystal clear about what you want to optimize your life for. Like, what is your life for? Like, what's the one thing and the only thing that your life is for? Like, if you were to die tomorrow, what would you want to leave the rest of the world with?
Well, I already have a lot of namesakes and shoes.
There you go. Exactly. So you might check that one off. That might not be it. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm creating a legacy here.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
That's interesting.
It's very true. And I mean, I have to remember. I think that the only disease is amnesia because every morning I have to remember what am I committed to again, and what is my one commitment, and what is that one legacy? It's bizarre how to keep refocusing over and over
Well,
again.
speaking of refocusing, we're going to rewind and take a look at yesterday's episode. I think it's about time that you own your brand. You are the sexiest happiness expert in the world.
Wow. Sure,
That's
absolutely.
That's like a one-on-one competition, though. There's nobody else. Who else do you know is a happiness coach? Just me.
When I was diagnosed with cancer, I was laying, which is ironic, on the golf course, looking up at the sky and saying to God, I said, I need to know if I'm going to get through this. I have a 5-year-old little girl, and if I don't know I'm going to be okay, then I don't know if I can make it.
And then started World Animal News about 6 years ago, and then that took off. And so we needed something to mainstream animal welfare because the animal welfare community knows what's happening, but the world doesn't because it's not in the mainstream on BBC, CNN, MSNBC. People don't know what's happening. So that's why I created it.
And as soon as I started following the dietary and lifestyle suggestions, everything went away, and my personality even shifted. I became so much more goal-oriented and ambitious and hardworking, and all of these things that I thought I could never follow through with something. I'm just a confused, flaky person. All of that changed, and it was all just related to that.
Right.
Wow. In my senior yearbook, I was signed my name, London Brown, actor, comedian, and I was manifesting that. 2014 was my brokest year. Dry, $28 in my account. And then I got a call saying, yo, HBO's looking for you. I went into audition for Ballers, and that's the quick version. And I've been looking at this because it's something I really project, which is to be focused. And my whole thing is not, people who follow me on social media know that I'm always pushing to be focused, not because I always feel focused, but the idea is to convey that and speak to myself. So when I'm not focused, I've already conditioned myself to be very focused.
People during happy hour just let their guard down. They're there to relax. They got off work. They're having fun. Everyone wants to chat, and it's a cheaper hour, and you get good stuff for decent prices. And
I love happy
and you
hour.
can go home and get a good night's sleep. Exactly, because we're all morning people, so it's we're out by 7:30, and you can go home and you know, not feel too terrible the next day. And we want to just go and enjoy this hour with everyone everywhere. So that's the goal.
And women need to feel beautiful. It starts from within and it starts at the beginning of the day. But carrying that through with what you wear and how you choose to have your image received by the world is something that's important. We want to feel good, we want to look good, and when we do, we can succeed.
We want to take this dress to happy hour, right?
I feel like I've learned so much about health and fitness, about being a more philanthropic person, and knowing my values and knowing myself a lot better.
I'm really big on going outside and being active. So I really want our youth to kind of put down their devices and put down their phones and find something outside that they're passionate about.
I love the rewinds. They're the best.
They really are good, actually. And we're so blessed with our guest, right?
Seven guests yesterday.
Yeah, and that's one thing I would just want to share appreciation about is like we're all inundated with requests to be on the show, and we want to have everyone on humanly possible. And so we're always so happy and so grateful for the folks that do get on the show.
For sure.
Absolutely. We're hashtag community powered here, and it's an incredible honor to be able to have this platform for people to share their stories and inspiration, right?
Speaking of, we've got Focus TV magazine.
Focus TV, more focus.
One of our guests today, Miss Marla Martinson, right here in the dating issue of Focus magazine. We're not just a TV network, we're also a quarterly luxury lifestyle magazine based here in Los Angeles. You can take a look here at her editorial spread. If you are not in the LA local area, you can go to focusmag.us and check out the website.
Well, I'm excited because I'm going down to LA Kitchen today. Robert Edgar, who started DC Kitchen, they've made over 40 million meals. The guy's a genius. I told you about him a little bit ago. I heard him at a talk at Soho. I was so inspired just hearing his story because he's not only just, feeding kind of, people who need meals or the homeless. He's actually training people in the kitchen. So people that are, we've got an ageism issue in LA, right? So older people are not being able to get jobs. Of course, people coming out of the criminal system, whatever. He's taking them in and training them how to work in the kitchen so they can go get jobs. He's also getting things like fruits and vegetables that have little tiny nicks on them and things that they can't sell in the grocery store. They buy them for pennies on the dollar. They use them. They're all vegan. They're doing vegan meals because they can do it for a lot less money. So I'm just so intrigued by this project and going down to go check it out today.
Wow, great guy, great guy.
Yeah, right?
Are you going to be in the kitchen?
No, but I'm going to check it out. But maybe I will be in the future for sure.
Oh, good. Let us know how that goes tomorrow. I'm excited to hear.
Well, let's take a little break. When we come back, we are going to talk about Thought Thursday and the one thing you can do. Sorry, Thought Thursday.
Transformation Tuesday.
It felt like 20
It feels like Thursday.
Yeah, right?
It feels like Thursday.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
For you, in this moment, what feels most true to you?
The three of you. Really grounded and present and honored to be sitting with other like-minded individuals. I think that it's so important with everything that's going on in the world that this is our now, that this is hopefully the future. And because of the experience with certain things on TV in the past, it's heartbreaking. And it's heartbreaking to watch, and it's heartbreaking to see other people go through it. And people out there watching it don't really understand what it does to your psyche and to your heart. It's just tragic. And so I think what you guys are doing here is absolutely just a gift.
Right. This is my sanity.
I can see that.
There's so much insanity in my life and uncertainty. This is my truth.
I have a hard time saying no to. One is a boy in a band, and the second is a Snickers bar. So I wrote a song about that.
I hear you, sister.
Chasing you down like an ice cream truck. Every damn time that my phone lights up, I'll be salivating at the sound of what's up. Yo, what's up? Boy, you're delicious. It's too bad you ain't nutritious. When you say my name, it's like candy. When you kiss my lips, it's like candy. You're no good for me, you're like candy. You're like candy, hey.
Here's
Oh, thank you guys.
Love addiction. I hear it. Wow.
Do you guys want to be my backup singer?
It's like, okay, you guys, come on, we need to get vulnerable here.
Totally. I think it's okay to pepper it in, and I love beautiful content, and I've always been a fan of putting out really quality content, but at the same time, I think that it's really important for my industry to tell their story. The mission has definitely been to inspire women to be the best version of themselves and kind of be an example and a role model for a lot of girls that are reading my blog.
What's been the biggest challenge for you in doing this, in building this business?
Ooh, the biggest challenge, I think, is how consistent you really have to be. So what I've had to do is learn that I'm like a cell phone. I have 100% charge and it goes down to 1%. And when it's down there, I need to step back, recharge. The consistency of creating content, it can be a lot, but I think I love it. And
welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are live in Los Angeles on #Transformation Tuesday. We have two guest experts in the house, a mystical matchmaker, Ms. Marla Martinson, and a fashion designer who is apologetically sexy, Mr. Perry White. Good morning.
Good morning.
So since we're talking the topic of transformation, I'm wondering if you could share just one tip to our audience on the one thing they could do to transform their lives. Marla, let's start with you.
Okay. Well, I think a really big thing people can do that will make a huge impact. It's small, make a little shift. Stop blaming other people and things outside of yourself for your circumstances or anything that's going on, and realize that we do create our own reality. Our frequency, the way we're vibrating, is going to attract everything that we want into our lives. I'm a matchmaker, and I see this with singles. They'll say, there's no men. I had a girl tell me the other day, there's literally no men to date in New York. So I'm like, really? On the whole island of Manhattan? So that a little shift there, thinking, you know what? Your frequency, what you're thinking about, is going to shift everything for you.
Beautiful.
Couldn't agree more.
That's pretty good. I like that. I think people should think about changing their association. If they really want to change the energy and the vibration of what's happening in their lives, sometimes it means stepping away from the people that you would normally associate yourself with. Some of those people may not necessarily be good for what it is that you're trying to do or achieve in your life. And I find that what we do is, when we have a certain group of people that we associate with, we tend to mimic how it is that they live their lives. We kind of want to fit in. So we want to prove to them that we are worthy of hanging or being in their group. So I think if you want to go higher, you need to raise your vibration by changing your association. And I think it's a two-part answer. We hold, we really depend on what people think of us. So we base our lives, and we adhere, and we do things that we think would please other people. So I think we need to think about stepping away sometimes from the people that may not necessarily be good for us, and letting go of the codependency of thinking or being concerned with what they think of us. So, I mean, you know, that's kind of my take on it.
Wow, fashion designer, stylist, life coach.
Right?
Perry White.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much for being here. We're excited to have a deeper conversation with you both later in the show.
Talk to your friends, drop with people, please.
Very, very true.
Oh, man.
So back to Transformation Tuesday. So let's talk about it. So we actually had somebody write in that said, I've been watching your show and I'm ready for a major transformation in my life, but I don't know where to start. So what is the number one thing I can do to transform my life? And I think that that's, you know, we would never give advice. We would never say there's one thing and everyone has their own opinion of what that is. But I would say, for me, it's been meditation. And it's interesting because if you take a look at, you know, the symbol of transformation, the greatest symbol is the butterfly, right? We know that for transformation. So if you take a look at caterpillars, it's really interesting because they actually have these discs. They're called imaginal discs, and they're dormant in the caterpillar until they go into hibernation, into the cocoon, and then they basically ignite these cells called the imaginal cells that transform them. And I think that we have that in us, that all spiritual work is actually an identity shift. It's actually identity. We're so powerful that the minute that we actually perceive ourselves as something or as not something, we literally transform our perception and like our experience of life. So for me, I would recommend meditation because that's been my greatest shift in my work within.
How about you, Jess?
My biggest transformation? You know, when I had to spend a few years, like 5 years, recovering from a hand injury, I really focused myself on self-healing, self-care. I read so many like self-improvement books and really focused on not only a physical transformation and healing my hands, but a spiritual and mental transformation as well. And in that, I read a lot of Brené Brown, and it really resonated to me. She says, loving ourselves through the process of owning our story is the bravest thing we will ever do. So really for me to sit back and realize, this is my truth, this is my story, I'm going to embrace it and I'm going to choose to live the best version of that. It does take a lot of courage. And the one thing too is I had to release a lot of shame in that, and guilt and expectation I had on the story not being written the way I wanted it to have been written. Right? So I was angry, I was mad, I was embarrassed, I cut off myself from the world, and I thought, wait a minute, be brave, own your story, share your story, you'll connect with people, connect to your audience, and in doing that, be the best version and live your best life, right? That was, I think, the biggest transformation I had.
Wow, it's so powerful, Jess, very well said. I would agree with you that for me, it's been positive thinking and no thinking, right? So no thinking I would call meditation, but that's the idea, positive thinking, no thinking. And for me, I think that change or shift came from a place of desperation or inspiration. It's always been from those two places. And so for me, the challenge and the opportunity has always been, can I think about this in a way that's constructive, or can I stop thinking about this altogether?
You know, it's interesting. So we interviewed Miss Malibu and Miss Teen Malibu yesterday, and I asked, what does it feel like when you're on the stage? And she says, well, I don't even think at all. I just do it. Yeah. And it's interesting when you think about that no thinking, right? And when you're tapped in, tuned in, turned on, as you always say, that's like really in the flow. Sometimes you don't even have to think about it because you just are it.
And I love that, and I would absolutely agree with you, and I would insist, actually, that who you are authentically, your authentic self, is always and forever tapped in, tuned in, and turned on, and it's only thoughts that get in the way. That's been my experience.
So true, I love that. But I have to agree with Marla. I think that just transforming, I was like one of those women, I was like pointing my finger at whoever I was in a relationship with. I was the victim of whatever, a victim of my story, a victim of my childhood, a victim of whatever. And I think once I released that and just started looking within, and just the whole thing changed. So
yeah,
it's ever evolving for sure.
And another way of putting that, or sort of just adding on to that, is like, I think at the end of the day, it's really just faith. There's got to be an unconditional, immovable, unshakable faith in yourself that goes beyond your circumstances, that goes beyond your physical body, that is in something that feels more like life itself, or the intelligence of the universe itself. It's tapping into that, which you're already always tapped into, but it's just that the thoughts get in the way, and sometimes those thoughts are about other people or other conditions.
I love that. It's interesting, if you're in that space, right, and your vibrations are that high, you're operating out of a place of gratitude, not out of a place of lack or fear. And it transforms everything.
It does, and really,
everything.
And I would insist that it's the only thing that transforms everything. It's only that. At the end of the day, it's like the only way you can possibly change a relationship is if you first are able to control and regulate yourself and your own thoughts and emotions. If you cannot do that, you cannot transform that relationship. Same thing with your money situation, same thing with your health situation. I think at the end of the day, the only true transformation is rediscovering who you authentically are.
Right, for sure. We're preaching today. It's important on transformation. Transformation is really the belief system within the soul. So on that note, let's go back and talk to two incredible human beings about their transformation. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria Simone, associate producer here at Focus TV Network, America's first live streaming daily talk show network with my favorite girl.
I'm Jessica Lee, producer and co-host of Good Morning LaLaLand. So Victoria, tell me what happened this week in Focus.
So we had the Ren Wood Show
with the hilarious Ben Glebe.
Yeah, we had Mama Tix
with Harley Ruda, the potential next congressman of California.
Oh. We had Dr. Nina actually in the house.
It was an incredible show. Meredith O'Connor was here. You've definitely seen her on YouTube. And we also had Cole Woods, the modelpreneur.
We have two new exciting shows. Some of them you may know from the Bachelor franchise. We had Josh Murray, Naked Chats. Yes,
and Josh Murray.
We had Demario Jackson in the hot seat.
We're so excited to welcome Lindsay Palis to the Focus family. She's got a new show, Eyes Up Here, and had a very special guest, Drama.
Speaking of Lindsay Palis, she was on Good Morning LaLaLand.
Yes, she was. We had a week full of very special guests. We also had a reality star from Real Housewives of Orange County, Gretchen Rossi.
Another Real Housewives of Orange County, we had Peggy Tanos.
And the jet guy, Hunter Gaylor. He is a man with a plan and a plane.
We had a special episode of Good Morning La La Land.
We did. It was co-hosted by Dr. Sandra Lee. You may know her as Dr. Pimple Popper. She brought in a slew of amazing industry guests. I'm so excited for you to take a look.
Have a divine day.
It's going to be a Good Morning La La Land. And of course, we have a lot of fun here at Focus TV. We have a blooper reel hosted by Brittany Zahn.
The change is starting happening. It's nope, bad take. Nope, nope. Oh, sorry, I messed up. I was talking to the guest. It's a little fast. Bet you don't have one of those in your phone. Nope. Andy's like, damn it, I'm doing things over here. Usually I'm a one-hit wonder with my videos, but right now, how many takes are we on, Andy? Woo! Okay. I think it's maybe take 12. Nope, messed up one word at the end. It's gonna drive me insane. Listen, I've never done so many takes in my life on one video. That was a good one. Good? You like that one? Are we gonna do a blooper reel? Andy's like, you're already on all of them.
Thank you so much for tuning into This Week in Focus.
We're hashtag community powered.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We have beautiful Marla Martins, and she is a mystical matchmaker, an author, a coach, and a dear old friend of mine. How are you?
Hi, Erin. Hello.
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 Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. I first met you in this article in the dating issue of Focus magazine, and I was instantly intrigued.
Oh,
3 memoirs, one of the most renowned matchmakers in Beverly Hills. Where did this journey begin for you?
Well, that began in about 2002. So a long time. I've been doing this like 17 years. And I was an actress / waitress in this town when I was much younger, and came from a little town outside of Seattle, Washington, came down here, was doing that for like 20 years, lived here and in Chicago. And when I was 39, I had this transformation where my father passed away, and I said, I cannot put on a waitress outfit one more time. I'm like, I can't at 40, I need something different. Not that it was a great career for what it was and allowed me to do acting and TV commercials, but I'm like, there's something else that other talents I have to bring out in the world, and I want to make a difference somehow. And I prayed and I used affirmation cards because I didn't know what. And my husband had a friend who was taking over the management position at a video dating service, and she hired me. And then from there I moved on to Beverly Hills, and then from there I moved on to my own boutique matchmaking service.
Wow.
And now coaching, doing transformational coaching for women.
We've talked a lot about transactional relationships versus transformational relationships. It's one distinction that I use all the time. I love it so much.
Absolutely.
So tell us what that means.
Yeah, the transactional. Well, here in Los Angeles, we'll see a lot of those transactional, where the women are, you know, drop dead gorgeous. So the older men, of course, all want to date the younger women, and then the women want to make sure the men are, you know, financially good. So some of the women will really say, you know, he's got to have a private plane, or he has to make $1 million a year. And I've had women come in saying, I want to meet a billionaire. And I have not.
That was me. Just
Erin, she used to pester me for those billionaires. No.
But do you believe you can have both? Because, you know, my girlfriends and I, we've talked about it. You know, do you have to marry for money? Can you marry for love and money?
Of course, I mean, there's nothing wrong with money. Look, that's the currency we need in this. You know, it's great. We're all out there trying to make money to live. But when that's all you're looking for, see, I like to see a woman have something like you're doing, Erin. You're doing something to make a difference. You have something that you're passionate about, and that's what men love, instead of just looking for a guy to pay all the bills and solve all your problems. So there's nothing wrong with being like a power couple or meeting somebody that's doing big things in the world and making money. That's great. But when that's your main focus, I've never seen it work out.
I always think of it like this. Whenever I think about human beings, whether they be my friend or I'm doing business with them or dating, whatever, I think, if they had no money, would I have this person in my life? Is this authentic?
Right, yes.
And that's my litmus test to say, this is coming from a genuine space.
Right.
And then if you have millions of dollars on top of it, so great, it's a bonus. No, just kidding. Just kidding. But so let's talk about transformation. You're now working, you have tons of books, you obviously do matchmaking, but you're working with for Tell us about that.
Yeah, I still have my male matchmaking clients, which I love and I'll always do. But I was thinking, you know, for being a matchmaker for so long, I've seen some of the same women for 17 years. They're beautiful, they're smart, they're still single. Why is that?
Why is that?
It's because of our patterns from childhood. Maybe we had an alcoholic father, or we got bullied in school, or past life, who knows? We all have baggage and issues that we need to clear. And I did the same thing. I was dating the same guy in a different pair of pants. You know, I had the verbally abusive guys, the jealous guys,
the
non-committal, or married approaching me. And so I've got this great program that I've developed where we will clear out those things. We'll do tapping and breath of fire and a lot of different modalities, energy healing. I'm a Reiki master, use crystals. So we'll do that. Also tap into the angelic realm, a little woo-woo here, we're in LA, and get some messages. And then also go over their dating profile and photos and all that, because you got to have the practical, you know. Some of the pictures I see people send me, it's like, take off those sunglasses and get that angle. So
they need a reality show on this. This sounds like a fabulous thing, right?
It's going to be fun. And I'm so fired up about it because I know once the women, no matter what age, clear out those blocks and patterns, and it's going to be fun. Everything.
I just love that. I love that it's holistic too.
It's holistic, and I'm real holistic, yeah. Absolutely.
You know, I think one of the things I hear you saying is really it's about the programming that sort of gets in our way, right, in terms of finding love. And so the work there that you do then is really helping people deprogram and clear out that. Right?
Yeah, transforming, healing. We all need healing. It's so amazing. Anybody you talk to, I'll bet you, we all have a story of pain, something that's been painful in our lives, something that's blocking us from going forward. And it could even show up in career, not feeling good enough and sticking in a job. I knew a woman who kept herself in severe debt for years because she didn't feel worthy, so she kept having to work double shifts as a waitress to pay off that debt. So she was working herself to the bone as punishment because she didn't feel worthy. And she found that out in therapy, and it was very interesting. So we'll beat ourselves up in some way.
So question, do you believe in soulmates? Do you believe in soulmates, and do you believe that there's like a time where someone's going to meet somebody at an exact time? What do you think about all that?
Well, I think there's a lot of soulmates. We travel in soul groups, and I bet if I was single, there's somebody I'm with here, I'm married. If I would move to France or Japan or Australia, I'll bet there'd be a guy I'd be into there, and there'd be a relationship, right? So there's all over the world, there's right people for us. But and be careful, because a soulmate, it's not going to be just a smooth ride. There are things that we need to work out from maybe past lives or whatever. I know it sounds pretty woo with the past life stuff, but I know me and my husband have had some pretty wild rides over the centuries together.
I think that's part of the reason why you're naturally attracted to some people, and you feel like, I have known you forever.
Right.
And I can't quit you.
Yeah.
Because our souls have done this before.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we believe that in my training, we believe that the soulmate's the mental equivalent, always. So if you are still dealing with, abandonment issues, that your soulmate's the person that's going to come in and be that perfect person to abandon you, to try and pull it up. So we don't believe there's one soulmate. We believe that it's always just a mental equivalent of whatever's going on within the soul. Yeah. But do I believe that there's one soulmate? No, I don't believe that.
And our true soulmate, it's you. It's yourself. That's your true soulmate. And that's what I like to see women tune into, because they look for that Prince Charming, like we've been programmed for that, and it's really, once we're happy with ourselves and we're able to live alone and travel alone and go to a restaurant alone and really own ourselves and our divinity and our happiness and love for ourselves, then that's when this great, partner's going to come in.
For sure.
As icing on the cake.
Right.
Is that how it happened for you?
Well, it was interesting, that whole transitional period. It was 2001 when my father died, and I had just been dumped by a long distance boyfriend, and I pretty much gave up everything to come back here to be with my dad. And shortly after, I met my husband, and I felt my dad put us together. And so it was very interesting, because it wasn't that I saw him and every time I'd see him, my butterflies and, is he gonna call? It was more just like, that was my past life partner that we needed to reconnect and go through some stuff because we were just together. We were just a couple that week. And then we were at his parents' house in Mexico City for New Year's Eve that year. So we met in May, and by December, and we're sitting there, and he stands up and he pulls out his wallet and he gets out one of those little pocket calendars and he announces to the family, "We need to pick a date for the wedding." And I was like,
wow.
What? Oh, all right, let's pick it. You know, and it was just like seamless, kind of.
Wow,
interesting.
that's wonderful.
It wasn't like I didn't have to wait. Is he going to call? Does he like me? You know, it was one of those because I'd been through so many of those. The guy doesn't call. Should I call him? When's he going to call? Does he like me? Is he going to? I haven't seen him in a week, or and that frantic, you know. But of course, we're all like we were talking about. We're in our 20s and 30s. We're run by hormones, right?
Oh,
right.
yeah.
It's a different experience, and when you get a little older, you can kind of calm down. Hopefully.
Yeah. Do you think that's one of the secrets to both connecting with people, meeting people, and also staying in a healthy, happy relationship? Is it the ability to stay full of equanimity?
Well, staying in a relationship, you know, I think, look, we've got like a 50-60% divorce rate, right? Why are we splitting up so much? Why is there so much divorce? And I think it's because we are trained to like someone because of the way they look, or they're hot, or they're rich, or they're cool, and so it's like that's my soulmate. He's everything I want. He's 6 feet tall. He does this and that, or she's blonde and that was my dream, and she's got the right chest, you know, and she's sexy, and it's more the inner work that we've got to do. We've got to see that inner light instead of course you want to be attracted to that person, right? But I think that's the whole key right there, is we're not digging deep enough. We go too fast. I went pretty fast with my guy. We got married, but sometimes that works. But we got to get to know people, and we got to get to know ourselves.
So what can the Buddha make me do to get to know myself
The Buddha
so I
made
can
me
be
do it.
ready for Mr. Right?
The Buddha made me do it is it's called A Field Guide to Enlightenment, Lite. It's my spiritual journey. It's kind of like an Eat, Pray, Love meets Bridget Jones's Diary. So it's
Who doesn't love that?
It's my journey. It's humorous, and it's my journey on a deep dive into the spirituality. And when I became an energy healer and all of that, and added it to my matchmaking. So, and my husband's in it, and we're like Ricky and Lucy. You know, he's a Latin musician, and I'm a wacky redhead always trying to get in the show.
Well, we're all about diving deep. So where can people find you and dive deep?
At marlamartinson.com. Yeah. So
I love that. I love that. So great to see
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. We've done many interviews together over the years.
I know,
so
it's great.
It's so wonderful to have you here.
Continue the conversation. It's
For
so
sure,
important.
absolutely. So stay tuned, you guys. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Jessie Golden, and I am the creator of The Golden Secrets, a completely, no, hang on a second, sorry. Can we start over? Today's guest is the founder and CEO of Viva Glam magazine, Glamour, no, sorry, hang on a second. Today's guest is an 8-time stand-up paddleboard, shit, hang on a second, I'm sorry. The heavyweight, the UFC middleweight, I totally fucked that up. Hang on a second. Today's guest is a medical doctor who utilizes the, fuck, why am I? Motivational, I fucked up, hang on a second. Oh shit, really? Damn it, Andy.
She said, I like the black. Most women do.
I hope you're filming. Were you recording?
She's like this.
Oh, thank God. I actually hope that you're filming.
I'll stop.
Those would be good, actually, for promotion. I know. Wait, I'm just getting started. Yes, a golden secret. It's no longer a golden secret.
Los Angeles. Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. It's an absolute honor to welcome to the show Perry White. He is a celebrity designer and stylist and unapologetically sexy. Good morning, Perry.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
We are so happy to have you here and talking about transformation. You can really transform your entire life by the way you dress.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about that.
I mean, well, it's all about wearing, it's like your outer skin. You know, it's what makes you feel good about you when you look in the mirror in the morning. Sometimes we dress according to what we think other people will expect of us or what they think, you know, will make them feel better. So we wind up doing that for other people rather than doing it for ourselves.
How do we switch that flip? Because I am so guilty of that. Oh, what should I wear for these other people, for these other occasions, rather than saying, you know what, this is what I want to wear today.
Well, you know, it's a slow process. Because sometimes we'll put something on because we think it's fashionable or it's trending, but then we're not comfortable, and we're obviously uncomfortable when we're wearing it. But the confidence level is not there. It's all about confidence when you wear something. It's all about feeling good, and the world will see it. They'll pick up on it. They'll absolutely know. So and when you're uncomfortable wearing something, they're going to know that too.
So true. You know, in LA, there, of course, there's one mind suite. We don't know if it's like just actually getting fed to us through advertising or what, but I'll never forget, I lived in Park City, Utah, and when the Sundance Film Festival came, all the people that came, they literally were wearing the same things. Like, it was like, did you guys get an email? Like, I mean, honestly.
It's the uniform.
And I don't know if it's just because you're in the town, so you see other people and everyone starts mocking each other if they're really tapped in or what. How do you break out of that? Because, I mean, let's face it, we all have certain things we like because everybody's wearing it. How do we break out of that and start to
well, that is a, I don't know if I want to call it a problem, but it's just people like to mimic what they see trending. You know, if Kim Kardashian is wearing something, then every woman or a lot of people want to feel like that is the in thing to wear.
I mean, the biker short situation right now?
The biker short situation is kind of out of control.
Out of control. Okay,
it's like so like over the top right now. If I see someone wearing another pair of biker shorts to a business meeting.
Let's be real. It doesn't look professional, and it's most likely not flattering.
It's not. But there are some things, some sport-related things that you absolutely can wear. I mean, listen, we're in the day and age where things have to be multifaceted. You have to be able to wear an outfit from a business meeting to, you know, a lunch to, you know, a workout to just weekend wear. So, you know, that's the way that I design. Things are multifaceted. But the original question was, can we get back?
How do we break out of it? Like, so say I go, okay, I don't want to dress like the Kardashians. I want to somehow get a new style. What would you recommend? How can people
I would recommend on a daily basis, kind of peeling away the things that you feel most comfortable wearing. If you have a favorite t-shirt, say, I'm not going to wear this t-shirt next week. I'm going to go out and find something that is like maybe a little more expressive. Something that is a little more out of my comfort zone, but just baby steps, not all at once, because you're not gonna be comfortable, and people are gonna tell that you're not comfortable. So it's all a matter of doing it slowly and over time.
Love that.
Yeah, adding new pieces.
When did you first discover this sort of transformational power of fashion?
It discovered me.
Really?
Yeah. I did not discover it. I mean, that's how my mom supported our family. She took in sewing. And you know, some nights I would go to bed and she'd be at the sewing machine, and then I'd wake up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom and she'd be at the sewing machine, literally all night. And then I just mimicked what she was doing. You know, sometimes to keep me occupied, she'd give me a needle and thread, and I'd cut and sew like little things. And then eventually, over time, I became the kid in the neighborhood who could sew, who could make things.
But you've worked with people like Queen Latifah, Macy Gray. I mean, tons of LL Cool J, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Prince. Like, so what's been your favorite part of this whole thing?
Oh my God. One of them is the people that I get to work with. Prince was my dream job. You know, my other dream job was to work with Michael Jackson. Unfortunately, that didn't come to pass. But yeah, I mean, it's just it affords me the opportunity to be very expressive, because those were some people, especially the Macy Gray, you know, connection was just, she would wear anything that I put in front of her. You know, and I made things for her that I thought really fit her personality.
So how did that make you feel when you see your designs on Macy Gray?
Oh, it made me feel great. It made me feel absolutely awesome. And you know, she won Most Fashionable Artist of the Year Vogue, VH1 Vogue Award in, I believe it was 2000. And she flew me to New York with her, and we went up on stage to accept the award together. It was the most surreal moment because it felt like, okay, everything that I'd ever dreamed of. I mean, doing work for, you know, high-profile people, you know, being awarded for the work that I've done. You know, it was just awesome. It felt great.
But let's face it, like earlier when we asked about transformation, you're a highly, highly conscious, highly evolved human being. And I would imagine people like that, they're not going to have people just, you know, whining, complaining, you know, victim. Like, I'm sure they want you #1 for fashion style, but they're also like, they want badass consciousness around them, right?
Absolutely.
So how much of a conversation do you get into I mean, how much of a relationship do you have with these people?
Well, we get all the way into it because it's all about me trying to understand who they are and what they expect and what their comfort zone is and what their willingness is to kind of go past where they've been. So so I mean, once I have the opportunity to figure that out, then I can take that information and run with it, and more than likely come back with something that they're going to feel fabulous wearing.
It's a total spiritual practice. I mean, it
absolutely is. I mean, I like to think your facade, see on a daily basis, you know, what this thing that represents your spirit is, you know, I mean, that's what we have. That's what people see first. That's what people judge. That's what people kind of determine the type of person that you are. So I think that it should be as expressive as possible.
Such a good point. People make impressions in like less than a second often, right? And then because we're mentally lazy, we do everything we can to validate the initial impression that we've created.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so absolutely. People judge us in a split second. So if they're going to do that anyway, why not let it be powerful? Why not let it be big? Why not let it be dramatic? You know, that's what I always say.
Let's do this. I want some drama.
A lot of times for women, though, we hold back from that.
Right.
From really showing up big and dramatic because we're afraid of the judgments that other people are going to make of us.
Oh, absolutely. Women dress for other women. Men do too. But people, for the most part, dress because they're trying to impress the people around them. They're not dressing for themselves. So if we could just kind of somehow step out of that and dress for who we are and what we like and what thrills us and what makes us feel happy, then we'd be the better off for it. I think that there's like some really expressive stuff deep down within us that we suppress on a daily basis, that we refuse to acknowledge because someone else would not approve of it, you know? So I think that if we could just kind of like break out of that shell, we'd be awesome.
Isn't that why people go to Burning Man?
Exactly. I think so. But I mean, you know, it's just, but I think, you know, the whole Burning Man thing, I've seen people kind of, because they know that they're going to be around other people who are going to be overdoing it, or because they're not necessarily dressing in the way that they would normally dress. But if you could do that outside of Burning Man, wouldn't that be awesome?
Oh,
wouldn't that be? Wouldn't
how many unicorns would be on the
I mean, do you know how much fun we'd have on a daily basis just walking? It would be like the street would be your runway. You know.
I think some people already live in that space, right?
Exactly.
In LA, especially.
I'd like to.
Yeah. But I think we need to take it outside of LA. You know?
For sure.
Our reach needs to be a little further than Los Angeles.
What I love
the big cities.
That they say when a woman wears Perry white, she doesn't feel sexy. She is.
She is. She absolutely is sexy. Because sexy, well, first of all, sexy already lives deep within. So it's not necessarily the garment or the Perry white attire that's making her feel sexy. I think in a way it gives her the license, or it gives her the reinforcement, the okay to go ahead and say, you know what, hell yeah. Can I say that?
Yes, you can. You just did anyway. You're good.
It's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this, you know, and I'm gonna live this. I'm gonna be this.
I am this.
I am this, and not pretend, because people can tell when you're pretending. Right. People can tell when it's a facade, and you know, it's not authentic.
You're so inspiring. I just want to have like a big makeover. Like you just have so much fun.
But you're so fabulous anyway. But if you want to make over, hey, come on in. Let's do it.
Makeovers. Let's do it.
Perry White makeover.
Have a
Perry White did the Dr. Erin makeover.
I love it. Let's do it. So where can people work with you?
On my website, which is www.perrywhite.la. My Instagram is also perrywhite.la. Or my telephone number, can I throw that out there?
Throw it out there. Go for it.
If you want to hit me up on 626-379-4749, then you can come in and I do a consultation and develop some wonderful custom wardrobe for you.
Wow.
I'd be
love
more
that.
than happy to, absolutely.
Rob,
you already know that it's in the mix.
Yeah.
You know I got you. I got you. I got you.
We've got some carpets to show up to, so we can't let Rob out to us.
Let's make it happen. Oh, you know, I got you too. I'm designing for everybody.
We're excited. I'm all over that.
And we are going to
Thank
be
you.
sexy.
Oh, absolutely.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
Roll.
Drum roll, please. Part of the Focus TV family, Ms. Kelly Gores is gracing the cover this month. She is the filmmaker behind the Heal documentary. We have a very special interview with Mr. Mark Teschner, Ellen Rakuten, and of course some incredible people. We have a special video about it as well. It's very near and dear to my heart because this issue I actually was the managing editor.
You did so much work, Jazz.
Yeah,
Big shout out to
you.
Andy and you and everyone that's been involved for sure.
Thank you, Andy, for the opportunity to be such an active part in this community.
Speaking of empowerment, Jeslyn, you crushed it.
Right?
Wow,
Boy,
thanks, Rob.
you are a power player, girl.
I really appreciate that. I couldn't do it without the both of you. You are my enlightenment. You are my life school every morning. So thank you for letting me be a part of your community.
So for people that haven't seen the documentary, let's just give them a little overview of what is the documentary. We're going to show the trailer in a minute, but from your perspective, tell them a little bit about it.
Yes, so the film is basically showing people how incredible the body is and how we're designed to heal, and how big of an impact our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions have on our physical body. So as you guys were mentioning before, those 9 healing essentials that people, tapped into, only 2 of them are physical. The rest were mental, emotional, and spiritual. So that I look at as kind of the ratio for what you need. If you want to heal physically, you really need to bring in the emotional and mental factors. And we see it in the placebo effect, how what you believe affects your biochemistry and your physiology. So belief and the mind-body connection is very powerful.
Good morning, La La Land, and we have the huge honor of being with Lillian Garcia.
Oh my God.
This month, gracing the cover of the Influence issue
Look at
of
that.
Focus magazine. Thank you so much for
It's a
being
beautiful
here.
picture.
So gorgeous.
Holy crow. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is really crazy. I mean,
it's beautiful.
You guys
picture.
have no idea what this means to me.
It does?
Yeah,
Aw.
it does. I tear up like so easy sometimes, but no, this is great. Thank you.
Of course, is the cover. Gorgeous,
Oh my God,
gorgeous
that is
cover.
so awesome.
And we have a little surprise for you, which is your article within the magazine.
This is
and
so
the cover.
amazing. Holy moly, what is
A
going
real
on? Oh my
biggie.
God.
Oh,
yes. When I'm out of town, I will leave that for my husband.
Thanks for tuning in to Good Morning La La Land. We're discussing transformation today on Tuesday. And the question that I have for everybody is, what has been the greatest change or transformation you've experienced personally?
Oh boy, is that me?
That's you. You're in the hot seat right now, Marlams.
Well, changing my career, that pivotal time around the turn of the century when I got into matchmaking and was really helping people. What more, what can be more rewarding than helping people find love, except maybe saving their life, like doing brain surgery. But other than that, it's just been really rewarding.
Well, I would say that in some ways, love is even more meaningful than life. It gives life meaning.
Yeah.
Love does.
Yeah.
Without love, life is sort of.
So playing real life Cupid has been a real dream for me.
Love that.
That's awesome.
What about you, Barry?
I would have to say, when I decided to not base my value as a person on what others think of me, it was very empowering. Because we don't realize that on a daily basis we behave according to what others might think or what others might expect of us. And if you're able to break through that and leave it all behind and live for what is important to you and the things that you want to do and the things that you want to achieve, I think that we live freely We live openly. We live uninhibited. And I mean, that's how I try to live my life on a daily basis.
So how do you do that and still know that in order to make money, you need to have an exchange and make sure that you're giving value whatever someone else wants? How do you find that dance between?
Well, I mean, there is a fine line. Just go around like blurting out everything that you think, or you can't insult people. I mean, listen, it's all about being respectful, but demanding respect as well. Demanding consideration. You know, everything that we want in life is valid. It's important to us, and we have to give others that same freedom to expect and demand what is right for them. So if I'm sitting down with a client and I'm designing or creating a wardrobe piece, it's all about collaboration. I'm not necessarily going to bring my personal, wants or needs into that business connection, but I am going to advise them on a fashion level, and then the other stuff is put aside for that moment. But in my everyday life, I'm going to live to be the person who I think I should be.
Love it. Love it. So important. So what do you guys do the rest of the day? What does your day look like?
Well, I am going to get out of here and go and walk my dog, because unfortunately, I'm a bad dog daddy. I was not able to walk him before I came here this morning. But I did walk him at 12 o'clock last night.
There you go.
So his bladder isn't too full right now.
What about you?
I'm going to go home. I've got some work to do, but then I'm so blessed that we have a beautiful swimming pool at our house, and I have been enjoying that every afternoon this summer. So I swim, and I put my dog in the pool to cool off.
Oh, nice. That's
together,
awesome.
The dog paddle together.
So cute.
Well, have a beautiful Tuesday, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. This
We
has
are
been a
recording
pleasure.
LaLaLand, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available as a podcast on iTunes.
That's right. You can. We're waking up the world together, you guys. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, give us a review, send us some love. We love you. Have a great day.
It's going to be a good morning, La La Land.